manifesting from essential nature. When we're trying to manifest something in our lives, quite often we can build into our thought processes the limitations of past experiences. We can also be steered by our egoic needs, requirements, the need for items that are not essential to us, things we don't need. For instance, do you really need to buy a new car? What's wrong with the old one? Looking a bit shabby. Doesn't sort of match your feeling for. Doesn't really match your need to feel better about yourself. You see, there's negative vision and positive vision in manifesting. And negative vision is where we need to manifest something in our lives because of a lack that we feel within ourselves. Like the new car. What's wrong with the old one? Hey, nothing wrong with wanting a new car. It's going to be more reliable. Going to give you better fuel economy. Easier to park. Who knows, there's lots of reasons for wanting to change your vehicle. But if the reason you want to change your vehicle is so that you feel better about yourself, so that you can stick your elbow on the window and cruise down the street looking cool, then there's probably an egoic reason behind that why you think you need a new car. And this applies to all sorts of things. A bigger house, a swimming pool. You know what I'm talking about. I won't wax on about this because it's quite obvious. Sometimes people acquire possessions simply for egoic reasons, to be better than the neighbours, to keep up with the neighbours. My father's brother was a little bit like that. When we moved into a house, he moved into a bigger one. When we got a swimming pool, he got a bigger swimming pool. When my father bought one of those electronic organs, I'm talking back in the 80s here, he bought a bigger electronic organ. It was like he was always trying to outpace, one up. Yeah. In the long run, it didn't do either of them any good. So manifesting from essential nature is a matter of getting past your egoic requirements. I'm not talking about subsistence farming here either, where you only have just enough to live on. Scarcity. Scarcity is the other end of the scale. It's another egoic end of the scale. Oh, there's not enough for everyone. I shouldn't take too much. You know what I'm talking about. Scarcity mentality versus exuberance. Both of them are equally as egoically wrong as the other. So where's the middle ground? And what is ego, by the way? I'm talking about ego here, and let's just be clear that ego is identification with belief patterns that you have created in your life over time that limit you in the ways that I've just spoken of, in other ways. As we're referenced to past experience, the part of your mind that I will call ego is conditioned by what has happened for you in the past. And what's happened for you in the past therefore limits the choices that you have for what can happen for you in the future. Because, as we've covered in previous masterclasses, your subconscious, like a gatekeeper, seeks to replicate what has happened in past experience to ensure that you stay safe. Maybe not abundant, maybe not prosperous, but safe. And at the other end of the scale, if your self-esteem is so knocked around that you need a bigger house, a bigger motorbike, a bigger car, a bigger swimming pool, a bigger electronic organ to make you feel good, then there's something egoically wrong at that side of the scale as well. You know, the need to keep up. Yeah, so that's ego, basically in a nutshell. So I know what we're talking about. We all know people who we call egotistical. And what is it about them that we don't like? Is it because they don't listen? Is it because they've always got something bigger and better? They've always got a better story. They've always got, something grandstanding themselves. I think people these days call it virtue signalling. Yeah, that's one form of egotism, but it's not the only form. The person who stays quiet like a little mouse in the corner and hardly has boo to say, they're also coming from ego. But not the overt ego that we call egotism, from a place where they feel small, where they feel shut down, where they're afraid to speak up because of the consequences that might happen if they do. And so, either the loud egotistical person or the quiet little mouse egotistical person, somewhere on that spectrum is where you and I sit. And when we talk about creating something in our lives, we start to become a creator. We have some success in manifesting things, ranging from manifesting a car park right outside the busy shop that you want to go and visit, right through to manifesting a miraculous healing for yourself or for someone that you know who you love. Whatever. We're all there creating things within our lives. And realistically, we are creating all of the time. Every moment we are creating the next moment by our actions, by our thoughts, and by our attitudes. So, creating from essential nature. What is essential nature? Essential nature is a part of you that is untouched by the egoic states that we've just spoken of. That part of you that is untouched by the circumstances of life. When you were prior to this life, when your spirit made the decision to visit this earth plane at this time, you were pure spirit. And at conception, spirit came in, the spark of life. And there's a bit of conjecture about when does the life force, when does spirit come into the newborn or the new created baby, new conceived baby. And they've actually seen that when the sperm and the ovum meet together, there is a flash of light, an energy that occurs at that moment in time. Yeah, I don't know how they photographed that, by the way. But there is a burst of energy, and I believe, my personal belief is, that when that sperm and that ovum meet, that is when spirit bursts into that newborn life. At that point in time, the veil, as we like to call it, the veil goes down, and we forget who we are. We forget that we are eternal, immortal spirit, here, on a mission. People often say, hey, what's my mission? What's my life's mission? Well, your life's mission, on one level at least, is to remember who you are. Eternal, immortal, infinite, part of a much greater dimension than this physical world. So when you come, down go the shutters, and you start life as a human being, and you adopt assumptions, beliefs, and attitudes based on what it is that you are subjected to. Is your mother perhaps not so well? And does that change the flow of nutrients to you as a baby in the womb? Are you perhaps not planned as a baby? And the first thought that you are subjected to is that of, oh no, I'm pregnant. How does that rejection feel? How does that sit with you? And as you grow through life and grow and are subjected to the birth process, to being a baby, to growing up through childhood, you get the picture. Our ego is formed by the experiences that we are subjected to, and our interpretation of those experiences that we are subjected to. We all know that an incident can happen for two people, and two people can have completely different impression about what it is that actually happened in that conversation or that argument or that particular situation. We know that. We know that the truth is subjective. And perhaps there is actually no actual truth, because the reality that each person created in an incident is a reality that is true for them. And a third observer who may come along and say, no, it was like this, that's the reality that's true for them. And are any of those realities actually true? Or is it the sum total of those realities put together that creates a synergy where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts? And that the incident is actually created by the witnesses who witness it. So the question is, how do we get from an egoic state when we seek to create, I should say, when we seek to purposely create our life going forward? How do we get out of an egoic state? How do we let go of the thoughts, feelings, assumptions and beliefs that we've generated? How do we let go of those things that stand in our way? And that, my friends, is a process. It's a process of shedding. It's a process of working through the shadows that sit within your mind. Sounds a little ominous. Some people call it the path. Hey, you can be completely happy being egotistical in either way. It's a choice. But when you sit down to create, if you truly do want to create from your highest good, or for your highest good, if you really truly do want to get onto what it is that your life's mission is, which, as I've said, I believe is to remember who you are, then part of that mission is to shed the assumptions, beliefs, attitudes that you have picked up throughout your life that limit you. It is a journey, and the journey simply starts, no matter where you may be along that path, with bringing yourself to a point where you can discern between action and reaction. You just got to jump on Facebook and put a comment up that's contrary to a post that someone's put up, and see what kind of reaction you get back to that. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a reactive response. Facebook is a good place to see reactions. But in a conversation all the time, your brain is cycling through and creating responses to what the other person is saying even before they finish saying it. Imagine that you could be at a point in time where you can listen open-heartedly to what a person has to say. Consider what they've said in the light of love and kindness, and respond from a place to choose harmony and kindness. And it starts by following a path to clear your own mind chatter, to calm your mind to a point of stillness where you can actually listen to others and even listen to yourself and view yourself as the observer. One way that you can do this is right now is to, I assume you're sitting comfortably listening to this. Maybe you're driving, I don't know. But just take one conscious breath. A conscious breath is to breathe slowly into your abdomen, pause, and slowly breathe out. And if you just did that, you would find that as you did that conscious breath, you weren't thinking about anything else. Now we can extend that to 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 4 breaths, 5 breaths. This is one level of meditation, because meditation, quiet time, is when you will start to develop the skills that you require to move beyond ego to your essential nature. When you can sit for maybe a minute and just follow the inflow and outflow of your breath, then you will be well on your way. Even one conscious breath at any time during the day, if the day starts to feel like it's getting on top of you, just take one conscious breath. It'll change your perspective. So creating from essential nature means that first we must tap into our essential nature, see the difference between our thinking mind and our spirit mind, if I could call it that. To develop the capability to sit for a short period of time and not to actually think. And then to apply that to situations such as when you're listening, even listening to this recording, where you're actually listening and not judging or commenting in your own mind as you listen. Just hear my words. And when there is a silence between the words, to hear the silence. And not to jump in with a whole lot of mind chatter in those silence breaks. Okay, I've led you down a path. I've led you down a path of wanting to know how to manifest from essential nature. I've led you down a path of talking about what ego is. I've led you down a path of talking about thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, assumptions. And I've led you to a point now where the answer is not something that I can give you in one podcast recording, one blog post, one masterclass, but where I can assist you on this path. There will be a meditation. That may or may not be appended to this audio. If it's not, then and you want to hear it, because it will help, just get in touch with me and I'll send it to you. You can email me at healing@martinworth.com. That's the best email address at the moment to use. Or you can use, if you're here listening to this on the podcast, the Mystic Way podcast, which used to be called The Mystic Fool, you can email me at themysticfool@martinworth.com. Because this is the beginning of a pathway to true happiness, to manifesting that which you maybe not what you think you need, like the bigger swimming pool, the bigger house, the new car, but what will serve you the highest good. And it will be good. There's always a little bit of, ooh, really? Why can't I have these things? Well, you can have anything you want. The bigger house, the swimming pool, the new car. Of course you can. and why not? But also, what is it that you wish to have in your life that will make you truly happy? And that really is probably to have the time and the money to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it with. Because that is true abundance. And that comes from tapping into your essential nature. Because that is the stream of abundant flow that is your birthright on this planet in this time. The time and the money to do what you want to do with who you want to do it. Thank you.